Hello, hello, test, test. Hello, everyone on the stream. It is a 2 minute delay. Tell me if there are any difficulties with hearing my voice or there's some strange noises in the background. So, our first game in this tournament, which will consist of two finals and one grand final. So, what do we have here? Two players, PVT. Hello, hello, test, test. And in a upper right, representing my team in the crew, it is IndyK Protoss player. And in the bottom left, r- green Terran, representing team Ipanks. It's Lilekanen. I hope it was all right. I'm not so uh, advanced in pronunciations of Danish names. So we have the two players of very strong caliber. So I suppose we'll see some interesting tactics. Hello, everyone on the chat writing. I hope you will enjoy my stream. I'm not as advanced in streaming. I mean, in streaming in English. I mean, I have the English level, but I hope I will be. I will not make too many pauses. So no, what can I say at this moment? It's a blog, so Indy cannot see anything, which is sad for him. What will he decide to do at this point? Now it's a very early stage of the game. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. So we have a typical classical block, so the tripper uh, cannot come. Oh, we see we see a quick factory. As far as I know, Lekanin is known uh, for his tech units. Actually, it's a mech, so that he makes a lot of tanks, a lot of Hellions, probably some air. I mean, I'm really excited uh, for this match, as it is the Red Protoss, which is our most well-known Polish streamer at the time, Polish StarCraft streamer. So he goes for Stargate. We will see how he will fight with this opponent, which is definitely, and we all hope it will be a tough match, and the opponent will prove himself uh, to be worthy of this Protoss player, which is definitely one of the strongest players. Maybe not in tournaments, but definitely on ladder. We see an adept scouting for information. There's currently there's nothing to be found except that the fact that Indy sees no natural expansion on this place, and probably this adept will escape, or will these marines catch him? Oh, he got caught in the process. So it's kind of interesting because we see tunneling claws from Terran player, which can be devastating for the Protoss player because it's just in a blink of an eye you lose a lot of probes. We will see how Indy copes with this situation, as it's a very early stage, but he decides for Void Ray, which is a interesting unit. It's not a Phoenix to pick up mines, but Void Ray is very has many questions in the chat. Okay, let's see how it goes. These Marines are actually just shooting at the sky and doing nothing, but there are mines on the other side, and they took out two probes. Is it a lot? I think it's not. I think Lilekanen is quite unhappy with the trade, so he's chasing this Medivac, and he will he will get him because the Medivac is slower, as we all know. Sad Terrans and happy Protosses. Hello, hello, Raul Zerg. Hello, Kashim. Hello, everyone in the chat. Oh, I'm sorry I missed it, but there was 10 probes actually killed in this at that moment, which is unfortunate for the Protoss player because he doesn't have that many probes, and he loses some more. It's you guys see it. It's so unfortunate for the Protoss player. I cannot even catch it, and so as Indy, which is a lot of losses for the Protoss player. We will see how this game will go because the expansion was really late, but it wasn't. But the position is quite, I think it's quite nice for the Terran player. I hope you didn't hear it. Okay, I will close the window. Sorry for that, guys. Uh, I don't want the background noises uh, uh, to make me uh, unable to commentate this game. Okay, what do we have here? It's the game is evolving at the very moment. The Banshee is coming, but there is a photon cannon just at the time to actually prevent this harassment from happening. As we see, Terran player is actually sitting on two bases and chilling, probably drinking some Pepsi, and making a lot of tanks and waiting for Protoss to actually attack him and lose all of his units. And we see an observer sneaking in, and Indy actually finally got some information here. What does he see? And of course there is this Banshee coming from this side, which will pick a bunch of probes, or it will be, oh no, it wasn't optimal for the Terran player, but I think 4 probes is actually is something. It's always something. It's not just Banshee. It's also a scout for the Terran player to see if there are no all-ins, but actually Terran player, this playstyle, I'm a Terran player, but I don't really play that much mech, so uh, I'm not really that familiar with the dynamic. But of course, it's a very stable, very static gameplay. which can be very, which can save you many losses, many unfortunate losses. Hello everyone, how are you guys doing today? I see mostly Polish people in the chat. Okay, so we have a scan, the floating barracks, which will actually, we will see what will be this, um, the potential of this flying barracks. Okay, well, actually the game becomes stable as it was in the early game, with that difference that we have a lot of tech. So probably the game will get more and more exciting as we proceed. Uh, okay, guys, today I don't have the second monitor connected, so I have on phone. I won't be able to actually answer your questions, but I of course I will see it with the or answer it with 2 minute delay. I hope it will be fine with you guys. Okay, triple Banshee, Raven, which is, I think the unit is very useful in many situations for the Terran player, some Dark Templars or even disabling some of the key units for the Protoss player. We have three Colossi, which is it is a number that satisfies many Protosses in that case. But in that case, actually, for against the against the mech player, will Colossi prove themselves useful in this case? I really doubt it, but we will see. The range is impressive. We have some other units which are very, those units, Archons, I mean, they have a lot of health, so they can suck some shots on them, and some hallucinated zealots. We will see how this battle goes. This is quite an evolving battle, but I think that Protoss player is actually just crushing it. Apart from the Banshees, which Indy doesn't see. Does he have any? He has an observer just now and a few more stalkers, so he will be he will be safe against those banshees. I think it will be fine for him. But the Lekanin doesn't have any new units here, so I don't really think he can defend it. The Protoss player is unstoppable here. Will Indy take this first game? It looks like it, because the amount of Protoss here is is huge. Huge Protoss army crushes it every time, just like all the Protosses in the chat right now. Okay, so the second match, actually it's a first match, but second game. You have a delay. I see you guys. You're watching currently this fight, which was very unfortunate for the Terran player who was crushed. Okay, second game, Death Aura. It's a Polish version. I apologize for that. I mean, there are probably many Polish viewers currently, and they don't have that problem. But it's a Death Hour, I tell you. So in upper left, It's of course it's Indy, red Protoss. And in the bottom right, it's a green Terran playing for E-Punks. It's Lekanin. I hope it was better than the previous pronunciation, but there are some uh, SCVs. It's interesting. It's getting interesting. Something is happening. Will it be a proxy barracks or some quick pressure? I think like it might be a very dangerous proxy, or it's just a scout and a proxy at the same time. I think it's interesting what we see from this player, this green this green Terran player. Hello, Sushi. So we see the first barracks, and it's spotted very quickly. So Indy was very careful, and he caught his opponent doing something tricky, and now the barracks are delayed. I wonder if Indy will try to go for some pressure, because of course Terran doesn't have that many strong units on barracks that he can produce. Of course there can be marauders, but without a tank or cyclone you cannot defend that easily against zealots and stalkers in the early game. I hope you guys have different opinions about stuff, because I'm not I'm not playing here, so of course I don't have that great knowledge, but I played a few games in StarCraft. I hope I hope it's still not that bad. My casting. I mean, okay. Hello everyone. Hope you are enjoying. I'm enjoying. Okay, so we have a probe. We have a denied expansion, so Protoss cannot expand too quickly. But I think Indy will be fine. Indy has been in far more dramatic situations before, so he's trying something here. Sketching this probe. I thought it was a Reaper is here, so we will see. But because there's this Zealot, which is interesting, intriguing, I would say, because he made this Zealot to actually clean this up quicker, which is what he did. So that second expansion and a Cyclone, which is I like those units. I don't really play them, but I like them. So we have a Stalker. We have still it's one gate and Stargate. So it's just gate and then there's Stargate, land gate and Stargate. Gotcha, guys. Flying barracks. I find it interesting, this flying barracks, because if it gets caught, you don't have like you can't make additional factories, but I don't think it's that bad for the Terran player if he gets a good scouting against Protoss. So we have a Cyclone. We have this Cyclone, which is a unit very useful at times. Can pick up some drops or even some stronger units, which are which can be slower, which can be like stalkers or sometimes even immortals if the player doesn't pay attention. Quick guess. Oh, we see some scouting from Indy, but it's actually not a hallucinated phoenix, or I don't have hallucinations here, guys. So it's not a hallucinated phoenix. It will be recalled, and preferably for Indy actually it won't be lost. Yeah. I see more viewers joining. I'm really flattered by this, but I'm not the one who's doing uh, the whole. Okay, I'm not the one who's actually promoting this tournament, but I feel flattered anyways with you guys being here. Okay, we have two factory cyclone, which is strategy worth noting because it can be dangerous at times, but generally it's not that great because Protoss usually has units to easily uh, counter it or basically easily uh, easily macro. I'm sorry, guys. It's I forgot the I forgot the score. I forgot the score, guys, but it's actually interesting what is going on here. The barracks are being taken off, and we see a move out on the map with some cyclones, with some different types of units. What will Indy do? Will Indy take those out easily, or oh, it's kind of tricky. It's kind of tricky because it's not like it looks like very good for the Protoss player, but I think it's kind of it can be. Oh no, the other Phoenix actually it actually wasn't close. I'm sorry, guys. I missed it. I missed it. So now Indy takes second game. There's no sounds because I wonder if you guys I think there should be sounds now. I think there it should be, but I don't have. Okay, guys, let's go with next game. So the third map, which will be Eternal Empire. For those that doesn't know the Polish pronunciation and are not familiar with this with this photo, I think you are familiar. So, anyways, hello everyone on stream. I hope you are. I hope you are fine with my pauses and not maybe not as a music voice as you'd like to. So, the bottom left, it's Red Protoss. It's of course Indy. And in the upper right, his opponent, currently down 0-2. He make a comeback. It's Green Terran, Lilekana. I'm getting better, guys. I'm getting better. At least I'm trying to. I see mostly Polish people here, which is interesting. How are you guys doing today? A sunny evening. Goodness, wall of 43 health. You can guys see how I do it, how I comment it. I'm not actually that good with it, but the best of myself. I don't know what I wanted to say, but anyways, this part of the game is actually there's not much happening, but I see that this is the quick command center with denied scouting uh, because of this supply depot, and we see a sneaky pylon from Indy, which is interesting, I would say, because he proved himself to be a very good standard player, and now we see something like this. Oh, Indy, you're such a sneaky player. You're such a max packs, I would say, but you know, and it's scouted so easily. I don't know what was the idea, what was the plan, but there's the first bunker, there's second marine. So is it the proxy void ray he practiced, or what is it? What can it be in this? What can it be in this? So is it something important, guys? Okay, I'm sorry, I'm sorry, I'm sorry. I hope it's better now. I'm sorry for these problems. I didn't adjust it. I thought it's fine before, but people told me, and there are bunkers everywhere. I'm sorry, guys. It's the sound of StarCraft, you know. You hear something from behind and you're dead. And then there's the first Void Ray, the hero, the Chad Void Ray, which is so fast. Will it, what will it do? There's the second command center, which is actually not as useful currently. Will there be a second Void Ray? I think there will be, because there isn't as much firepower currently. Added got in. Will that be will that be enough? Oh no, the second Void Ray doesn't come out, which is unfortunate for the Protoss player. I think it's very bad for the Protoss player, this situation, but I wouldn't say it. What did I just say? It's bad for the Protoss player. It's never bad for the Protoss player. Come on, guys, it's possible. Protoss player can just micro, and everything's fine. You know, second base behind. That's very fortunate. I feel like Indy is feeling calm right now, and it's quick 3-0, guys. Quick 3-0. And Indy makes it. So Indy makes it very quickly for the first round. So we will see Polish champion in the grand final, best of 7. So 4 wins for those who can. For those of you who can't count, I think there are some of such people here. Uh, okay, this wasn't a good joke, but I'm getting better at it, guys. At least I'm trying to get better at it. GG's. GG's. So the second game will be Aquaron, the Spanish player, Spanish Terran player. Okay, I will introduce those players in the game anyway. So let's save some talking. Let's drink some vodka. I mean water, of course. What else can I drink? So there's a Vito. Okay, so I have a very good signal that it's actually fine right now. There are sounds in the game. The volume is fine for you guys. That's terrific. That is great. My voice is kind of sounds silly when I hear it. I have it on phone. A beast, Mordrago says. Let's see what you guys write on this chat. I I suppose you are smart people, so maybe there will be some value in those words. between those lines. Hopefully he will notice at some point. I hope you understand me because oh sh my von my v- my voice sounds so strange in this phone. Okay, okay. So waiting for the game. So, what do you guys think? It was very quick, very decisive. I think the Polish players showed that Polish processes are actually very strong. Actually, all the processes are very dangerous. There are Dark Templars, there are uh, Chargelots, which are deadly, seriously deadly for probably any Terran unit, except mines or some. Osak Snimlov asks, does casting 100-point spell versus 500-point spell make any difference? So as far as I know, you can count, and 100 and 500 is different, right? I hope you realize it's 5 times as much. So actually, it matters, guys. It matters. 5 times. Count, count, guys, count. I hope you guys count. Okay, waiting for the vetoes. Waiting for the vetoes. No idea. So you guys are actually Polish people talking to each other in English, which is actually kind of funny for me. But the society is that the I would say this community is that there are many people from speaking other languages, so they can actually know what we are talking about. So, okay, I won't be that. So we have a Lieutenant Kaleka here. I will ask him how he's casting. So we have Osax Nimlot with very long tongue. We need somebody here. So those guys are actually solving some mysteries, which are what are the values of those points. It's actually, the value of points. Actually, it's like you print a card and you. Okay, okay. So guys, today I will not only be a Dreamcaster, but I will also host Everdream. Oh, I think it was. Okay, so it will be WCS mode. I hope StarCraft won't blow up. And okay, so we invite players and casters. Are they banning or what they are doing? I'm stupid or they're just smart. Okay, fifth Death Aura. All right, guys. All right. Uh, Ready? Okay. Let's let's go, guys. Tomstar, A referee. A referee. Indeed. So we have a lieutenant casting in Polish. So if you guys cannot understand a word I'm saying, it's probably considerable to join this guy and actually watch this game from a lieutenant's perspective. English practice, guys. English practice is something that you just do. You don't need to practice. You just do it. All right. So we have a Russian Zerk representing 3D clan. It's a red Zerk. It's a B. So queens are seem appropriate for this guy. And his opponent in the upper right, probably in the corner, but it's more like here. It's a Green Terran Aquiron from Team Roddy, of course. As you see, this Phoenix. Um, Sadly, he cannot make any because his Terran and Terrans don't have that good units. What guys can you tell me? I read this. I read what you guys talking in the chat, and I see some interesting discussion about what is life generally. Solving such important matters as what race is best, and is it important to make a pull before hatchery or after? It's actually important matters. It's what decides if you feel happy, if you feel unhappy. You actually miss the build. You cannot feel happy for a day. What? Well, I'm sorry guys. I'm just getting too excited. I'm getting overhyped. It's like you eat too much and you just can't move. It's what happens. It can happen at times. Don't do this at home. If there are any kids watching, don't do this at home either, because kids, of course, think they can do anything. So chat, what is on chat, guys in the chat? It's so funny when I say it. Watching Artosis so many times. 4 links actually from the Red Zerg. We have 4 links. 4 links being made for this, probably for this 4 links, or maybe he cancelled. No. Okay, those links were there or something. I didn't see them. Okay, maybe I need to change for stronger glasses next time. So those rocks are definitely one of the opponents for the Red Zerg. He needs to eliminate in order to take the third base, or actually he did take it, which is an interesting spot because it's towards the Terran, and as far as I'm a bet player, I know that you don't wanna close the distance as a Zerg. You want map to be huge, distance to be huge, and you make a profit from it because you have creep and you are a very speedy race. Oh, a creep tumor taken out. So Aqua doing some fantastic micro, phenomenal, I would say, taking out this tumor. Oh, it's actually how it grows. It's actually grows how it grows. So we have. I'm sorry, guys. Maybe write in the chat if you want me to stop joking around. I'm just hyped. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. We have some micro. We have some micro here going on, so I can start trash talking actually. Maybe I will, because there are no drones here, so maybe I can tell a joke, another one or two, if you guys want. Okay, guys, there are some important matters discussed on the chat, and I hope you guys are enjoying my speeches, the way I talk, because personally I find my voice not so amusing. We have 6 Hellions going up that ramp, but there are queens actually ruling this this ramp. Actually, there are many queens, but there's who is the king? I don't know. King is on vacation. We have a bunch of teamers. Actually, it's like drones and links. I feel like there is no text structures for the Zerg. I'm not as blind. Terran player has a third base. Has what do we have here? 3 barracks, factory, and starport. Actually, this third base is producing SCVs, so it's very good for the economy. 5-minute time. These Hellions are actually very useful, and they're very annoying for the Zerg because those drones are actually getting roasted as meat on a barbecue. So but I don't think Terrans eat it anyways. Those losses are very... Okay, guys. Oh, what I missed. I'm sorry, guys. I missed it. Oh, these guys are going so fast. I cannot even see. I cannot even trash them so fast. I didn't prepare that many jokes. So this is so bad. This is so bad. So much blow-ups. These guys are so... They're actually survived. They survived, guys. Oof. I'm so exhausted right now. I'm so exhausted with this commentary because it's getting so fast. Like, so fast. In other links, like go here. These guys are so wounded, heavily wounded. They're like all in blood. Uh, they're all in. What is this? What is this guy? It isn't working for me. What is this guy even saying? I don't know. Maybe he's a worker and he doesn't work. So maybe that's what he meant. Uh, I think you are guys still in chat. I'm not talking to myself. I hope I'm not. Yeah, I actually don't see that much happening right now. I mean, where are the blow-ups? I think it was so fast before, and now it's getting calm. We're getting armor upgrades. We're getting new structures. It's like barracks, guys. It's barracks. It's more marines. It's much more units that are actually you can lose very easily. But will you lose them? My tongue is twisted with these tongue twisters. Actually, they're not as tongue twisting, but I'm not as good at tongue twisting as probably some of you guys are. It's 44 SCVs to 64 drones. Let's go to production. As we see an infestation pit. As we see an infestation pit for the Zerg. Some creep tumors. I think it gets slower. This creep spread is actually slower. Oh, and they catch with the catch, and I think they won. So that's unfortunate for the Zerg because Zerg wants to catch stuff. So there are the medivacs. What will they want to achieve? Is it some kind of drop or they are just chilling? Will they catch those Hellions up? Oh, guys. I feel like you guys are having a good time just as me. Just as I do. Okay, so we see mines, and it's not Minecraft, so we will see some blow-ups everyone, unfortunately. So the Zerg is getting more and more stuff. The links are running around, and the Terran is actually what we do because some Banes connect, but there's a hot pickup and the Terran got evacuated. But there is a counterattack. There are mines. Those SCVs are in a lot of trouble. Those Banes, will they? Oh, it's actually there are just shots right there, and there is a closed gate, and they say actually, oh no, maybe we will go back to our home. But it's actually This base was lost, which is unfortunate for the Terran player. I think the Terran player is actually very behind right now. 70 drones to 44 SCVs. It's quite a significant difference at this point, but there are mines. They are probably uh, the juicy shots for the Zerg, and now it's time for the juicy shots for the Terran player, because this is how it is in StarCraft. I see you guys actually. I see you guys are actually having some difficulties watching this stream, and this stream is actually very. Uh, I would say if you guys are here with me, it means uh, you're actually very smart and very. And you guys really don't have anything to do otherwise. Okay, so we have those mines. It connects. It's a GG. I'm sorry, guys. I wasn't that on point in this commentary. I will try better in the next game. Less jokes, more commentary. Commentary, whatever the pronunciation is. I forgot any. So the second map is Golden Wall, which is my favorite map. Unfortunately, leaving the map pool in the next season. I'm very sad. Oh no, he actually made the game. He actually hosted it. So we join. We are in, guys. We are in, and we don't have a referee this time. Okay, so guys are. I feel like we are waiting for someone. What is? Is B ready? Okay, he's ready. Okay, guys, I see you. I see this roast. I understand this roast. Okay, I see that some of you guys, Łukasz. Łukasz is actually. It's interesting to see difference between this casual commenter. It's not a word, guys. I'm sorry, I cannot answer this question. Okay, on the left side, there is the green Terran. It's a green Terran representing Team Roddy. It's Aquaron, who's actually down a map, and this fellow is actually up a map, and it's a red Zerg. It's B. As you guys see, for those who listen in radios, I actually can tell you anything. Okay, what is this guy even saying? I mean, he's trying something. I don't know. I don't know what he means. Maybe he should write in. I'm not sure if he's English, because he's writing words that doesn't even exist. I mean, maybe he doesn't. For now, we see overlords flying around like balloons, and guys, actually. Actually, guys, because I see you talk about my level of commentary. I'm actually the thing is that I cast not my even my native language. It might limit me a bit, because I'm not as it's actually my first time casting in English. I have some fluency in English. It's a little bit, but I'm not casting. Fluent in talking about the games, so focus on managing this. Actually, I can talk to you guys, because it's not the game, it's also the meta game. It's also what happens in the minds of players. I mean, I can tell a joke, I can say something because you guys are not here. If you are guys here for the games, maybe you are. I think some of you may be here for the games, but some of you may be here to actually talk, to actually chill around the game because it's not just the game, it's also players. Maybe I'm talking too much. Okay, we see a Reaper, of course. Yes. There are three bases for the Zerg, two bases for the Terran, and at this point, as far as I know, there isn't anything of the standard standard. So there is Dr. Knight is actually complaining, but I'm not gonna listen to this fella because he's actually he can be very misleading in his claims because he thinks that Zerg is underrated as a race, which is something I disagree with. Okay, guys. So actually, because you guys want me to, I don't have that much experience in actually talking about the games because of course we see four links, we see queens. I can actually use those tabs to tell you guys. It's three queens, four links, two marines, one reaper, two hellions, as you see. For now, it's actually very standard. I think like in the previous game, it was very similar, but we have a fusion core, which is something different. I think it might be mech. It might be mech. It might be mech for the Terran player, and we wait for it so Akron can actually uh, show some different strategies. I wonder if he knows about this expansion. I know he doesn't. Ah, I'm so I'm sorry, guys. It wasn't intended to switch those tabs. The third base, Zerg sees it very well, so Zerg knows it's not like two base two base ending, trying to end the game kind of aggression. And you know, we have a battle cruiser, which is a stunning unit, super unit. I can't hear what you say. Okay, guys, I'm sorry that you guys can hear me. You guys can hear me. Maybe I will turn this a little bit down. Okay, okay, guys, I'm sorry for this speech. Maybe it wasn't what you guys wanted to see here because you want to see good games, and I'm sorry you hear me talking about some stupid stuff. But you know, I wanted you guys to have something also different because it's what we want for when we want to feel entertained. Dr. Nidus, I don't think you're a doctor anyways. Uh, we have links on the ramp and some banelings. Uh, there's a battle cruiser. It's here. I found it. I found it very quickly. So you see you see what will go here. How it will go for the Terran player. It's actually losing a lot of health for two drones. I think it's not as bad, but you probably want to achieve more with this battle cruiser because it's also the element of surprise as a unit. It's very and it will be lost. No, it won't be. I'm sorry, guys. I made a wrong prediction, and it probably some of viewers might leave because I made a wrong prediction as a caster, and I shouldn't really do it. Casters are to commentate, not predict, and I predicted that was a wrong call. We have seven queens, but well, this battle cruiser is chilling here. It's very safe. There is nothing there. There is just forests, and you know there's nothing that Zerg would hide in. Sorry, guys. Production tab. I'm sorry, guys, for unprofessionalism. For unprofessionalism, I'm not a professional caster. I'm actually amateur, and I'm casting in English for the first time. And there's so many viewers probably who have very high expectations. I'm sorry, I cannot really satisfy you guys, but I hope I can show you something, and you will be entertained at least a bit. I'm sorry, guys. The music, guys. I'm sorry for the music because you guys don't hear anything. I should have adjusted it earlier. Okay, so one queen, second queen. Will there be a third? No, it's just kiting, or he just runs away without losing a marine, which is very fortunate. Those units are very efficient. Terran like them, and we see a Dr. Nidus strategy, which is very interesting. I like it. So B was probably inspired by Dr. Nidus, who is a very strong player. Actually beat me one time, beat me once. Let's say it loudly once. There are some banes. How do he trade? It was it was fine, but we see Marines. We see plus two plus two. Uh, how many barracks? There are some barracks. There is actually very standard for the turn player. So turn player would try to play marine heavy composition, and and it can be very misleading because of this building. This building actually is a dream ruiner, or actually dream devastator, which will actually crash the Terran dreams for the win. And there is this there's fungal growth, which actually is very deadly for the Terran player, and bio. It's very, I would say, it's very annoying for the Terran player to deal with such stuff because we don't really we don't like such kind of grass and living things that can kill us. Okay, this was a bad example. But we proceed with the game. I hope the players will be better than me at my examples. Uh, oh, there's a lot of Zerg army. We'll see. So the Banes are actually rolling around, and these infectors will actually. So the Terran player got like good position for. So the Zerg wasn't trading that efficiently, and this army is getting real big, real big. Like this is actually an army that would actually a big game do. So it's a big army, and but I mean the Zerg can be deadly still. Those are the Banelings. And but B doesn't want to commit to it. It can be dangerous for the Zerg, but these guys are big. Probably even as big as this army. Those tanks are actually effective. Alright, I would guess not as effective against those big guys. Not effective, but you actually see those flank he's setting up. But Terran is actually shredding through those upgrades, and those upgrades are very important for the Zerg. Will there be a counterattack or just picking up the reinforcements? Reinforcements won't arrive, or will they? The splits are quite quite efficient for the Terran player, so Terran player will actually be able to trade something. But there are some connections. Will there be just okay? So there are two ultras which are lost. They are not they weren't fighting that well. They got some injured. They got some Terrans injured, but it wasn't. It's not enough. It's not what Terran. It's not what Zerg hopes for. I think that Zerg is actually, as you see, look at this supply, guys. Look at this and tell me if it's if I'm wrong. It's 1-1. It's 1-1. It's tied. Just like a tie can be tied. Um, okay, so too much pans. I will write it down. If you guys can't hear me, I can turn the music off. I turned the music off. You can guys tell. Come on, guys. You just need to tell. Turn off the music. Caster. Don't be. Uh, don't be a listener. It's a cast, not a music. Uh, I would say the. I don't. I don't know the word that would actually uh, impress you guys and explain what I meant. But still, we have the third game. Ah, sorry guys for my tongue, it's twisted. Uh, so we in the upper right we have the green Terran playing for Team Roddy. It's Aquaron. He tied the last map against this fellow who is the red Zerg. In the bottom left, it's B. So we saw two games and we have two. So it's not as one-sided as probably some people as you guys saw Indy versus Lillekanen. But you know, I feel like those games are. I mean, what can I say about those games? I think I like those games, but you know, there's a lot of bio. I like bio. There's a little difference because there was a battle cruiser, so actually to make a Zerg to make a Zerg change his mind or actually make Zerg think that you are actually going mech, which is I find it very interesting strategy. So we have two balloons currently on the map. Uh, so Łukasz is actually Polish Lukas, I guess. He's very he's very smart with his name. I actually I have three gas miners, so maybe some gas. Very but I would say very standard anyways. Third second base, very standard for now. What do you guys want to tell me? I read the chat. There are some people in the chat. I admire it. Terran had in a supply, of course, Ossex Nimlot. That's what he doesn't like in this game. Terran ahead in supply. That's definitely something he's not fond of. How can this BC escape? Oh my god. OMG, three queen shots. Just elegancko, just dobrze, dobrze. Okay, guys, third base for the Zerg. Kashim, what is Kashim saying about me? Kashim is saying that I'm a basic streamer. Come on, guys. Of course I am. So we see a third base, very standard opening for the Zerg. As far I probably told you anything I could tell you about this. As far as my knowledge goes, uh, you know, basically we saw two games. I will say it one more time for you guys, for those that have joined. So we saw two games, and one for each player. One each player. Actually, it's 1-1. So you guys see. So you guys expect that there will be some uh, good matches. That at least two maps will be entertaining and not one-sided. I also hope. I also hope they won't. So we see a fusion core once more, a bunch of Hellions on the map. So Overlord will be taken. I think it's very. I wouldn't like to sacrifice Overlords as a Zerg, but those are speedy ones. They are very fast. They are like running football player, very fast. We have like what is his plan? What he's gonna achieve with this? He has one starport, and he's like jumping with his barracks, which is also an interesting strategy. So he makes a decision, and it will be a battle cruiser. So you guys know it's a very good unit, very strong, very, no, I would say efficient, but you know, as if some of you guys are not, especially Zerg players or maybe Protoss players, anyways, this is a unit that is very strong. For those of you who don't know, it shoots very fast, so it's very good against many uh, many uh, many low health targets. We have some more Hellions who trying to do some damage. I don't think that the Zerg is actually trying to catch those Hellions, but this is a matter of micro. What the micro will be? Oh, actually, the Zerg is actually so quick with the micro, so that so that those Hellions won't. Oh, and the battlecruiser comes for the rescue of these Hellions. So it's actually very interesting fight for me, because there are a lot of stuff going on, and this is such a barbecue of Zerg. As I said, I don't think Terrans need those Zerg anyways, so I don't see a reason to burn it that much. And it's very quick game, I think, because I don't think it was supposed to kill a Zerg. I think it was supposed to deal an economic damage or pressure Zerg, but it's actually those are sometimes able to finish off opponents. Okay, okay, Pillars of Gold. Pillars of Gold. I hope I hope the players will play very well on this map. I don't know why, but actually it's a golden pillars, golden wall. I think those maps are actually, there's a lot of gold on these maps. There are not that many silver or I don't know, bronze, diamonds. It's just gold. I feel that you guys are laughing at my commentary. I'm trying to tell you something interesting. Okay, so we have in the bottom left we have a green Terran. It's playing for Team Roddy. It's Aquaron, Spanish player. For those who don't know, and on the other side we have a Russian Zerg playing in red color. In upper right, it's B. So it's so the score is 2-1 for Aquaron, which is uh, which is very good score for the Terran, and Terran decides to go interesting and the thing is that it will it be scouted. Let's look at the let's look what the Zerg thinks. The Zerg thinks it's actually the Zerg sees this SCV, but will he notice? I think he didn't notice it, and boom, there are two, and this SCV was actually, and what's the response for the Zerg? Because I feel like the Zerg should make some sort of response, but is it enough? Is it quickly enough? Is it quickly enough to defend it? Or it's or the thing is that Terran thinks it's an appropriate response for the Zerg to play this. I think it was very delayed, and you actually want to make a pull as quick as possible to make links to defend against those marines, to make spines for or also that are very efficient because they are more efficient than 4 links in a defensive position, of course. Uh, so we have a bunker, which is very annoying for the Zerg. And if some marines get in the bunker, the Zerg will be in trouble. And the marine gets in bunker. those drones will fight. I think it actually tells you guys that the Zerg didn't see those barracks, and I think Zerg has enough, but there isn't even a place to repair those bunkers. Actually, this only one bunker, the second one is building, but it's cancelled. So the Zerg is standing, and what Terran wants to do? Wants to mass some Marines and come back again? That's an interesting decision, but there's a factory going on. You have to have account to chat. Many people are just lurking. So there are many lurkers in chat. Probably Zerg players. I hope they are enjoying my commentary, even though it's not as professional as you would probably be satisfied with. Two Reapers. This is interesting. This is getting interesting, but what is going on, guys? I'm actually I know even more than the Zerg, which is which is very funny for some of you guys probably. So there are a few pickups. Those Reapers can be very efficient if they are microed well. And so this Reaper actually escapes, but those blocks are actually are kind of funny. But that does what's the Terran plan? Is it an expansion or drop with those units that he has? Oh, actually, can he? I thought he would make it on time, or maybe he wouldn't anyways. Wrong call, but it's actually like he doesn't have any barracks at home, which is like what's this? Is it worth it to actually block your opponent's base with barracks? We will see. It's very important that you guys pay attention to this drop, because it is very important for the Terran player. As Terran player is actually behind in workers, and has a slower economy, doesn't have a second base. So one more time, getting back to this drop, this overall sees it. We have quite a bit of links, so the Terran player is probably very sad right now. He's coming back, trying to pick up this Overlord, which is unfortunate because the Overlord is over this canyon, and the Terran cannot get in there. Uh, we have some creep, but the Zerg actually just... I feel like the Zerg actually... What does the Zerg? The Zerg knows about this and didn't know about this. So the Zerg will decide to go for this base. Actually, it's interesting because it will be just... So he's hunting for this drone. It was actually interesting trying to defend this base. So the Zerg desperately wants to make the third base, and the Zerg just can't. So the Zerg was as desperate to go here, but we have links here. Those links are they are very bad. They are, as a Terran, you don't want to have such links, but a nice response from the Terran player actually picks up all of those units. So the Zerg didn't really do that much damage with those links. As we can, I didn't do it before, but actually you see Zerg lost more here. These barracks, will they fly? I think they burn. I think they will burn, not fly. So the Zerg now has a spot for the third base. But is it like Hellions with battle cruisers? Like there's no barracks, but of course they can fly, so they can escape, and you can add more factories. Those Hellions can do... Okay, so you guys are saying stuff I don't understand, and that's very sad for me. I feel very bad that I didn't learn at school this language you are speaking. We have a roasted tumors. Those Banes, are trying to catch them, but they won't. I'm just telling you. So you know, because some people wonder sometimes, will they catch them, will they not? I just tell you so you guys don't have um, don't have this feeling that maybe they will this time, maybe those links, maybe those Banes will connect. And there's an open door from Aquaron, so the Zerg actually stands and actually knocks on the gates, and the gates are opened. You just need to come. But there's this strong attack. What does the Zerg has? You see 5 Mudas, 7 Banes, 29 Wings. No nie. I'm sorry for that, but it's actually there was a counter attack for the Zerg, and we sorry guys for the interruption. so there's so these guys keep roasting. Actually, it's like Akron has zero workers, but what is the army for the B? There are two big guys actually killing everything that moves. What is the Zerg? How Zerg is going to defend against two big guys, two extremely big guys that shouldn't really fit in this map because they are so big. Actually, the game got kind of tricky because Terran cannot do anything. It's like two big guys flying around the map, and the Zerg has can the Zerg take it? Because Terran is a very in a spot. I don't think Terran can I don't think Terran can like kill Zerg easily. Cannot like go one. He actually tries to split those pieces to make to be more efficient, but there are corruptors in the way. Terran, you cannot win this game because there are, or actually, if the Zerg loses those corruptors, it actually becomes doable. But there are more and more, and there is no repair. So of course we knew what will happen there. We knew, you guys knew, I didn't. Okay, guys, so you actually have very high expectations of a caster. So the fifth map, it's a fifth map, guys. So it's a decider. I'm sorry, guys, for the technical difficulties because I didn't have that good connection to the chat this today. Okay, so this is a decisive map. I hope you guys are very hyped because these guys are actually trying their best to face against Indy, who is waiting in the final, in the grand final, and the first contender playing as a Green Terran, it is Aquaron, playing for Team Roddy, of course, and the other contender, the Red Zerg, playing for Team TD Clan, uh, TD 3D Clan. It is Russian Zerg. It's B. To be or not to be, as someone once said. You see, guys, I want to hear I wanna see what you guys think about this, because there are some people writing stuff in the chat, but I think there are many more people enjoying this chat. So I'm very flattered by your attendance, as I see there are many people, as I see many people on the stream, many people tuning in today. Ooh, those games are actually many turnarounds, some base rates. I think those games are very interesting, but I feel like Aquarion was very unfortunate with this open wall. He let the links in. He let them in. They were knocking and knocking, and he said, "Okay, guys, I know I'm gonna lose, but come on, come in, guys, come in. I have a dinner for you. I have everything you need." Uh, so it's a Defora, very interesting map, a map that will stay in a dev pool, in a dev, in a map pool. I'm sorry. So we have a third base, as Zerk wants to have those additional larvas. Actually, it's very standard at this point, getting rid of those rocks. Many people don't like it. And then there comes a Reaper, the defender of those rocks, trying to keep them alive, as he may use it for his mech units. Uh, okay, so very standard. Some Reaper micro, some scouting, grenades, grenades. And we will see some switches, some building switches, to make some Hellions, to make some different units which are very efficient, which can be very efficient. They're not necessarily have to be. And what do you guys tell me? Oh, guys, you're actually very funny. You're actually very funny. You laugh at my pronunciation, which isn't that great today. Of course, I'm not used to talking that much, and it might be hard to pronounce all those crazy names. We have some early pressure, so Zerk is definitely feeling it. We have wall. Actually, it's not as it's very standard. It's like four depots, so rather not a big gap. But of course, as you can see, there is no ramp, so it's much easier to engage in the second expansion as on Pillars of Gold. Pillars of Gold has a very good second base, so it's actually very uh, good map defensively, because you have a ramp to your natural expansion. We see another BC, so it's actually the same every time. Probably Aquarion is just decided to actually go to practice it and make it as good as he can. So there are some links actually burned. They got burnt out of the ground. And there's the Lonely Queen. Will she be caught? Ooh. And finally, so those are some trades for Aquaron. He gets a lot of those trades, definitely, because there are less larvas, there are less links, because Zerk wants to have queens. And then there is actually a Valley Cruiser, so it actually gets even more interesting, because the Zerg doesn't have any defense against those. Those drones are so they are endangered pretty much. Those Hellions, uh, those Hellions didn't have a good fight, but that DC actually took some took some trades. Actually, you see Zerg lost much more, but he let Lynx in. What will be okay? So it's a very nice. Actually, he let Zerlings in, so it's definitely important in terms of scouting, in terms of information. Oh, this little fella won't do well against the bigger one. Oh, it was deadly. It was deadly for this queen to actually make those larvas. It was a commitment she was willing to take. Oh, well. Those queens are actually throwing something again at this big guy, but this big guy is actually throwing something bigger. There are some Hellions actually. They are surrounded, but they are surrounded by the little ones, and those little guys die very fast. GG, well played. So it will be Aquaron, Terran player in the grand final. Okay, so it is time. It is time to reveal the champion of this cup. Is it a cup or is it? I'm not sure what it actually is in terms of being a cup or not, but I think I can say that we will reveal a champion after a match. After this best of seven against between Aquaron and Indy, two great players. There are many people on the stream. It's nice to have you guys. It's waiting for the game. Oh, that's unfortunate. That's very unfortunate because I won't see a chat right now. Okay, so I won't see chat from I won't see chat from this moment. Oh, yeah. Okay, guys, I will be right back. I am back, guys. I am back. I don't see much stuff going on the chat, which is fortunate for me because I don't have the second monitor plugged in currently, and my phone ran out of battery, so I won't see the chat in game. There aren't too many things happening on the chat currently, but it's fine with me. Okay, so there are some people. What is this? What's Indy doing? He's streaming. Look at him. He's so focused. I see him.
Dobra.
Okay, so Indy is streaming, and I have more viewers there than Indy. Just nice. Okay, so I won't see chat in game, so I will check after game, between games. Okay, so we start grand finals with the first map, which is Eternal Empire. Okay, there's some notifications. We saw those players. We see those players in tournaments, so especially Aquaron, who is probably a favorite, but I don't want to take anything away from this player spawning in the upper right. It is red Protoss player, as you guys can see, with this beautiful banner, same as I have. It's Indy from IndyK Crew, of course, from clan of his crewmates, and his opponent, very tough opponent for him. It is a green Terran player, Aquaron. As you see, you have this command center, place where adjutant is and gives instructions to the team. So what else? What else? I don't see chat, so I feel kind of lonely right now because I can see your reactions, um, your wise quotations. We see a scout, very standard, I would say, and but this is like second barracks, so it's not that standard, but we will see. But you know there are many strategies. I feel like Aquaron is actually likes to do those things differently and actually works against his opponents. So I think it's worth to differentiate your build orders. So it's actually interesting what Akron tries to accomplish with this, because it looks like he wants his opponent to think that he's expanding, but he's not. And Indy goes away because he knows that there's going to be a Reaper and he doesn't want to lose. He wants to play optimal. He wants to play an optimal game, but he actually missed this important scout. So there are two Reapers at a time. Of course, there's command center, a bit delayed, but there will be some Reapers in this base. There are three Reapers just now, but there are more to come. 4 army supply for each player. But the second adept is actually being summoned. I think it's the right word for the Protoss. Zelnaga towers. It's something I like to control, of course. Any player does. So in this is those many Reapers, and he's like, these guys are too many. There are too many of them, and so Indy goes and he decides to fight them. There are two guys against one Indy, and it looks very bad for Indy because he's starting to drop off. He's losing, and he's making an adept which will be killed even more easily than. So there are three adepts for free, and then there's Oracle, which will do some damage. Actually damage. Clean those guys up, because these guys are doing a serious mess. And but it doesn't look that bad for Indy. There's another Reaper. So the thing Akron is doing is that he's getting even more and more damage out of those Reapers. So as we see, Indy lost much more on this, but and now he's starting to drop off in workers. Of course, mules are being dropped down. Of course, Angry is a Protoss player. He doesn't have that. He doesn't have such. I wanted to use the word, but I actually don't know what it means. So I won't. Uh, and he takes another probe. I don't think if he can save it. He can of course try to kill those Reaper from the high ground, but I don't know. Actually, I like this from Akoron, that he's actually using his units very efficiently. He's not like giving away any of his units. He's he's uh, he's actually trying. He's thriving even. to get this advantage at any opportunity he has. Triple Oracle from Indy. The the Golden Armada Indy can afford. The Golden Armada probably Indy wanted something more. Probably he wanted much more, but he has so little money that he cannot build anything more than the three three flying green balls. So we see how these guys do. Of course, there's a defense. I didn't show you guys so you can be more excited about this fight. Uh, and we have a lot of Marines with Steam Pack. Those guys are flying around like crazy and they are picking some guys up. But will they pick this guy? I don't think so. But this guy will pick this guy, so actually it wasn't worth it for the Protoss player. Of course, but he does it. He does it. He does it again. Indy actually, he's actually losing stuff, but he killed 5 guys. Was it worth it? I don't know the numbers, so I won't tell you. But let's say it wasn't. Let's say it wasn't, because 2 oracles, it's gas, and you don't want to lose gas. Gas is you need gas for expensive units, for tech units. You don't want to have just zealots. At least, for example, if you're a Protoss player, you actually can have only zealots. I think it's okay for the Protoss player. Uh, so now we have +1. We have Steam Pack, of course, for those of you with worse memory. Uh, it's a double drop, very very dangerous. But Indy actually saw it with an observer, which I didn't say. I probably should. Uh, what will happen here? Because it's like those guys are poking around, but Indy doesn't have that much. What does Indy have? Where are Indy's units? I think Indy's. I thought Indy will have. Will this be? Will this be intercepted? Oh no! Indy will be actually the one who's choosing the combat. Sorry guys for not switching the tabs. So now we can see that there's a storm on the way, double forge. Of course, there's a scan, so the Terran can snipe off the observer, and so Terran wants to commit to a push, and Terran has much more army supply, which is which means that it is probably a good choice, but there are some. How many storms do we have? I actually don't know. I don't have that. I don't possess any of this knowledge, but probably Indy has some storms in his sleeves. I hope you guys understood what I meant. We will see how the micro is, because the micro is important in this game. But Indy is actually chilling a bit, waiting for the Terran to actually kill some stuff, and then Indy will get angry and will kill his opponent with his Protoss anger. So the tanks now are not. Oh, it's actually interesting what Indy will try to accomplish here, because he's like flying around with this, and those are important units, and he he can defend, and where he's actually the Terran player actually tries to steal attention from the Protoss player. I actually got lost in here even. Uh, Guys, stop spamming me. I'm trying my best. So Indy moves out on the map, and but I'm sorry, I missed the button. He doesn't know where his opponent is. Guys, I don't have lags. So they say there are some lags,
Gra wznowiona.
probably. So Lieutenant has left the game, and those guys actually did kill the one guy. But then on the other side of the map, tadam, there is this drop killing the Nexus, and we will see how he trades because those zealots are deadly close, and those zealots are gonna. There's nothing there. Those are just the empty medivacs. But on the other side, there is this army. There is this army built of. There's this gigantic lead in worker count, which is of course the economy. What do we have here? It's a planetary fortress, a wise choice in this scenario because Indy will probably have to make some damage. And we will see these ghosts are very important. How Indy drops those storms, drops those maybe feedbacks. He actually, where is his army? Indy, I'm serious. Where is your army, Indy? I hope there will be some more of protest because it was very, but it actually goes in. It actually sticks. Of course there is this drop. Of course there is the second drop, but there is this fight. I actually don't even know what's happening. This is how the game is interesting. And then Indy jumps in. Indy jumps into somebody's house and he says like, "Hello, I'm the big guy and I'm okay. I'm gonna finish it." Uh, so it actually doesn't go as good for Indy probably as he wanted, but he kills so many probes. But the thing is that he lost so much here. I feel like this game is like who has the worst disease because those guys are actually lost both they lost a lot, but this base is actually the thing that probably will decide the game. Or Indy actually doesn't mind anything, so basically any base could for Aquaron is good because he can fly. Uh, so basically Terran player is in a very comfortable spot with better upgrades, of course, guys. I know you saw it. I didn't say it because I know you saw it. And this fight very important. But oh, so Indy drops those juicy shots. But these are five stalkers. They're not gonna do anything. Thank you for the game one. I hope you enjoyed. Let's see what you guys write. Roasting me probably. Trzeba caster. Co? What do you guys say? You need to change the caster? That's sad, Mondrago, what you just said. You made me sad. I'm gonna make a joke about you in the next game. So guys, second game. It's gonna be submarine. So Indy fell behind in the first map. Lost the first map, and I don't think he's satisfied with this score. Even though he knows he probably knows that he's not a favorite. Uh, he's not. What's going on, guys? Lieutenant has left. Lieutenant probably has some problems. I don't know what problems does he has. Okay, so the problem is very basic. Uh, that uh, that don't really know what to say. I'm just talking, guys. I'm just talking. Okay, so there are some guys on the chat that actually aren't very nice about me, so I'm gonna ban them. But I don't think I have the possibility to do it. Even though, guys, this is a very important tournament that I'm trying to cast. Let's have a drink. Because this player, representing IndyK Crew, it is of course Indy, Red Protoss, lost, I'm sorry, lost to this guy, to this Green Terran from Team Roddy, Spanish player, Aquaron. So it was very close with B in the semi-final, but now it was very convincing for me. So I think that he might be able to win against Indy the whole grand final. But I don't wanna, guys. I don't wanna talk about this in this way because we are here to actually see. We're not here to talk. We're not here to predict. We are here to see with our eyes. I'm sorry, guys. I'm sounding as I'm sounding because I'm not used to talking that much. I usually don't talk. I usually use my brain to deliver information. My fingers, of course. Not Neuralink yet. Uh, Dropping mules, dropping games. What will happen in this game? Huh. We have command center. You have a nexus on the other side of the map. No, guys, I usually don't know what to talk about on this at this moment. Actually, it's interesting decision to make a second barracks and to make two Reapers and a third barracks. It's of course I'm sorry for the Polish. I didn't change it. I forgot to do it. But I think like learning a new language. Come on, guys, you are very ambitious players, ambitious StarCraft players. I don't think it's a very hard thing to do to learn a new language. So we have a base. We have another two Reapers. So it's actually an important scout for Indy as he decides for a Stalker, which I think is a is a good choice. But is it though? We see how they micro because I think it's more important here. If you micro well with any composition here, you should be okay. The four Reapers actually getting closer to Indy's base. Oh, those Reapers are very efficient, but I think like they're like poking and poking, but those Stalkers are getting yellow and maybe red in the future. And those guys regenerate quickly. It's like they have their own battery. I'm sorry, guys. Just it just makes me think like why Terrans doesn't do Mass Reaper? Why Terrans don't do Mass Reaper? I feel like it's a super battery. It's like they have a battery with themselves. So those stalkers are jumping on a map. I don't think because this is like very Of course, you guys, this is probably something that matters really much. Like you have three barracks. You don't have factory, probably factory is just now. But but you know, guys, we are here to have fun. I think most of the people here are to have fun. We have three Reapers running across the map. Oh, this guy didn't do well. Probably he was the worst soldier in the whole army. Oh, and the second guy, it's getting really red. Oh, this guy just blinked. You see that? He just blinked. Uh, so what are the upgrades? So there are no concussive shells. See that, guys? I saw it. I said it. They're not there aren't concussive shell researched. So Terran player cannot just. So Terran player, look on it. Look at it, guys. Indy is like just shooting and picking out those guys. +1 finished. As you guys see on the right side, there is this notification. And of course the Reapers. The Reapers are where they were needed. The, so the reaction wasn't as quick. So Indy lost a few probes. What will be the decision of Aquaron, because he has quite a bit of army. This army can be very dangerous against this army. Oh, guys, this army is basically like looking dangerously, but it's actually very weak against this army in a close combat. As you guys see, it's very close in army supply, in army value, I would say. There's this colossus. But what will be the choice? Because if he just okay, nice force field to actually prevent those guys from running into colossi. And those guys are actually very. I don't think they wanna. Those guys are actually very disappointed with what they achieved, because they killed like few zealots or something. You see that Acheron drop in army value, which is because those colossi are very effective, cost efficient as well, but effective in those trades, which are mostly bio units. Of course, there aren't that many marauders. There isn't healing. Okay, so we will see what these guys are, how these guys micro. So there is this drop. +1 finish for Indy, so it's actually isn't as important, maybe to delay in the future, but you know it's not as bad as it was finished. So two colossi went down. I feel like Indy didn't it wasn't what he wanted to achieve. I feel bad for him, really, because when I took a sip I thought about those two colossi, like why would they be so easily caught by Aquaron? I think like Aquaron is happy with it, because he doesn't have to deal with three colossi, because it's currently it's just one, so it's much less dangerous. One colossus is much easier to pick up. Actually, I should say. Um, what do we have here? We have this turret, which will be destroyed by Indy. Indy is picking those cherries. Indy is picking those units, those little things with these blink stalkers, which are very efficient. Though which are very efficient if with this with such catches, just as mutas are like good at this, but those targets aren't as bad in direct combat as mutas. So I think that this is a very good unit that has many ways to use it. Okay, guys, I'm sorry for the score. I hope you uh, I hope you are okay with it. That I may I made you think Indy is leading. Maybe the style that he played was deserved for a point, but you know it's not a fashion show. It's a combat game. So fourth base for Indy, and Aquaron gets this army that can be both those armies can be very dangerous depending on how those players manage those armies. And of course, Indy is waiting for those disruptors, which are very units that are very efficient. They can kill a lot of your army without really. They are 100, 150, 150, and they are very strong. Okay, so we have a bunch of Vikings, and there is this storm. I feel like Indy is crushing it, but in this army starts to, but it's like those Blinkstalkers. It's like Indy's crushing it, and then only Blinkstalkers are here, and they don't do that much. I think like does Indy want to fight here with those zealots? Definitely. Indy moves forward. He's not the player to actually be afraid of those low health units. So he's actually moving forward with this. Of course, you know what these units are. These raptors are. Of course, they're very strong. So Indy catches those mines. Isn't there a? There isn't. There isn't any armory. So I thought there. I was sure there will for upgrades. So there are no additional upgrades for Aquaron. I think. Okay. So there's this War Prism, which was spotted just now, and it might be picked very quickly. I feel like Indy is very. It wasn't what he was expecting of this guy. This guy didn't do his job well, and this base is very. And this base has no defense, so those guys can do something. But Indy thinks there is the main army, but he actually moved too quick with the zealots. Too quickly. And those guys are very threatening the Protoss player because they do a lot of damage. And of course they are strong against those guys. So Indy picks one of those liberators, and Acheron goes. So Acheron did it. He actually made those guys useless. There's a planetary. I feel like what's in this plan, because he seemed to have a little bit of aggression plan, but he didn't commit to it that much. If those zealots were a bit hit a bit hit after the attack of Indy, then they would be much more effective. So Indy goes very offensively. He has a bunch of disruptors. We'll see how the shots connect. And now this zealot's gone, which is, I will just say GG. That's what I will say. What it is. That's what it is. What are you guys writing? 1-1, guys. So it's tied. So Indy's putting a fight here. Oh, sorry, guys. I was reading Discord messages. Thanks, Indy, for waiting. Thanks, Aquaron, for waiting. It's silent. It's there for us, so it's silent. I wanted to get you in the mood. Okay, spawning in the upper left as a red Protoss, it's Indy. In the bottom right, it is a green Terran player who actually is who after losing previous game is tying against this previous fellow. So it's of course Aquaron, as you guys can read. Of course you can, and I'm telling you, if you don't. Ah, this much of talking is so exhausting. I didn't. I just realized. So Il is scouting for Indy, and we have a green Terran. So those guys will meet, and Indy is actually very. So Indy meets this guy, actually punches him, and goes away. Oh, this is very annoying for the Protoss player because Protoss player cannot make an expansion. And Protoss players, they love expansions, of course. They can have a lot of everything. So he's doing a little bit micro to extend this delay of Protoss's expansion. We have a Zealot, of course. From this side we have a factory and a barracks with Marine. It was cancelled, so Acheron gets money back, at least most of it. Of course, there's an expansion for the Protoss player, probably for the Terran as well. It's some time on the high ground, so defensively. And Stargate. Last time Indy played Stargate against this player, he lost. Just to remind you guys, actually very standard for that moment, but like two Hellions, Adepts will get in, delay probably this, take out a few SUs, and very quickly recall. So actually slows down those Hellions from coming to in this base and, and catching out probes. There are Adepts. Okay, so the base is finished right now. The two Hellions rush in, but they won't commit to it. They wait for the third guy in a car. But this Oracle, so Indy decides to actually pick this guy up, pick out. I don't know the correct phrasal for it, but this so he decides so he makes a Viking for safety, for example, against this Oracle, probably against some other flying units that might come from in this target, and goes very and now it goes like not something very aggressive, rather um, focusing on economy, on development uh, of those bases, building infrastructure, trying to extend those economy lead. If any of the players does have like economy, tries to extend it or tries to uh, make a bigger army and of course kill the opponent. That's of course the case for the game. I don't need to say it, but so picking those Hellions for Indy is very good because he won't lose. As we know, Acheron can use his units very efficiently, and if Indy lets those Hellions alive, he may lose a bunch of pros in the later game. So we have three tanks, some marines, a bunch of flying guys. So probably Acheron uh, tries to prepare for some phoenixes, oracles, maybe void rays, but there won't be some units. But those guys have a bit of health. They can deal with stalkers. Of course, not as they are flying, but they are when they are on the ground. That's not what I meant. the third base, the third base from the Terran, and the Terran goes back, or he maneuvers. The observer of Indy sees those guys, so he decides to take a tank, to take two marines, and those stalkers are actually very efficient. Oh, uh, this wasn't what Indy hoped for. Coming, picking up those reinforcements of his opponent. He actually has third base. He has 60 workers. So maybe it was he feels good right now. He feels like he did what he wanted. The fourth base for Indy probably will start soon, or it will be just a pylon. I think it will be a Nexus because he gathers those 5 minerals, which is like 5 minerals. It's usually the routine you do before making an expansion. Yeah. So now Indy probably waits for his opponent to make a move, and Aquaron stayed defensively, decided to go double factory. So probably so Indy doesn't expect it. Of course you can see what Indy sees. So Indy just lost his Oracle, which is unfortunate, and lost his Observer, so he actually sees nothing right now. He doesn't know it's Meg, but those Zealots are gonna do well against anything. I think Indy is fine, and those Stalkers waiting just to sneak out and kill the guy who wanted to deny deny Indy's economy. So there's this. So Indy will probably try to inflict some aggression upon his opponent. We will see if he succeeds. in a bunch of his previous games, he lost this prism. Uh, so uh, so he didn't do much damage with it, but we'll see this game as Aquaron doesn't have this space vision on it, but Indy decides to, okay, we'll see what spot Indy will do. But okay, this Marine actually is quite important for this moment because yeah, Aquaron is sitting on two bases, doing mech and doing Banshees with Cloak, which is I think Indy might be. I think Indy won't have problems with defending those unless there are like speed or something there, or they attack a base that is, for example, this base. But of course, Protoss can recall his Blink Stalkers. I think it's not as bad. Nice walling with those Zealots. So Indy did it very well to prevent losses. Aquaron still on 3 bases. The 4th base built just uh, built just here in the middle. Okay, sensor tower. So Aquaron is staying defensively against Indy, but Indy doesn't know it's mech. But like, are Zealots not strong against this? If there are not many Hellions, if there are just Thors and tanks, I think Zealots may do well because the tanks will kill themselves and Thors aren't as efficient against those against many lower health targets. Okay, so he scans, he sees basically what he knew. And he sends a Zealot to scout. Yeah, Indy is quite prepared for such tries of his opponent. So Aquaron is maneuvering his army to be prepared better against this, or he's actually planning an offensive, or he's planning an offensive defense. And Indy is actually taking a bit of damage. He decides to move back, but yeah, he lost a bunch of units. There were some zealots in Aquaron's base, but he handled it quite nicely. Of course, so so this mech army is proceeding towards Indy's base, and I think those banshees might be the key to this game because Indy doesn't have that many stalkers, and those banshees can pick out the important units like Colossi and Disruptors. I think the Aquaron might just take it, which is something that I, of course, I predicted that Indy will do well with his army, but those zealots of course, weren't with tanks. They were fighting inefficiently, not as efficiently as they can when Terran blows his own army. Of course, also the upgrades are very. Terran doesn't have as good upgrades as Protoss and still manages to fight him. We will see with those because those disruptors got picked up, but many more disruptors are coming. And those do well against these big guys because these big guys cannot fit. They cannot fit, guys. They are too big. So these stars moving back to Terran's base. So Indy is kind of like he lost expansion, but he rebuilt it here. Um, okay, so they gather very similarly, but of course Indy gathers more gas, and now he becomes to now he starts to gather more resources, much more resources, because those bases start to run out of resources. It's actually like, what are these players doing right now? Indy has a bunch of photon cannons, so this should be fine. We won't look at it, or maybe we will. Oh, it's 7 probes. It's actually something. So I made a wrong prediction once more. Destroying those 2 rocks. I think those rocks are better for the Terran, because Terran usually wants Protoss to fight on one side and Protoss wants to flank with his zealots. Like those zealots, like when they meet with tank, they are actually very good, very efficient. But Indy is fighting here, which is very bad for him. Acorn has much more army supply. If you guys look at the supply, you actually see that Acorn and even those banshees were trying, and those banshees will actually not try. They will just pick those units. They will destroy the disruptors, which are important, and those immortals. I think Indy is just starting to fall off very quick, very roughly. Of course, he didn't even catch those banshees because they have speed, so they are like void rays. So those are the Terran void rays, but they can only shoot down. So so not just as void rays, but you know what I meant. It's interesting army. Battlecruiser, stars, all the big guys Terran has. 3 BCs at the time and Yamato cannon. So this army starts to get kind of scary. But you know, these disruptors can do a lot of damage to these guys. But still, this army is getting scary. What Indy has to fight battle cruisers? Probably mass stalkers. But these guys, they scale very well. Like when you have a lot of battle cruisers, they are basically indestructible. When you attack with a small army against those guys, they're gonna suffer almost no losses. We have Dark Templars. So in these taking the big guns, but these guys are, I think they are much bigger. Okay, we have a bunch of disruptors, which is nice. We have a scan to actually just to throw it. Planetary Fortress. So Terran is solidifying his defenses, and I see Protoss are losing a lot, and like Indy is gathering more minerals. So even though he takes such trades, he actually manages to make. But these guys are very sneaky when they jump. They can jump, and you actually see that Indy has some army, but will it be enough to these guys? These guys, like the Yamato, these guys very quickly. Sorry, and I don't think Indy has the numbers. Has the numbers to fight it. Like there are four guys against 4 Tempests against these many battlecruisers. They are just gonna fly over in this army and destroy it. That's what's gonna happen. Look at it, look at it, just look at it and chill. Just chill and look at it. It's happening all by itself. So Acheron is just flying around his units and winning games. Uh, those Dark Templars are being annoying. There is there is also a fight. These guys are waiting here. So Indy destroyed one of Acheron's BCs, and Indy still is ahead in income. But what is he gonna do against this army? Against these guys? I mean, these guys are wounded, but they still deal a lot of damage, especially with Yamato. Yamato. Okay. Okay, guys. So what can I tell you? Like seriously, these guys will jump here. It will be so Acheron will Indy will destroy probably, or he won't this army, and yeah, these pieces will just kill the rest of Indy's army. So supply wise, Indy didn't look so bad at one point, but he didn't have the composition to beat the army of his opponent. 2 tanks, another big guy. GG. So it's 2-1 for the Spanish Terran. So waiting for the next game of this grand final. It's best of 7, so it's uh, so Indy has two chances. Two chances left. And there goes the invite I was waiting for. And look at this, look at these two players. Who's gonna win? Type in chat. Go, go, go. Alright, so guys, don't leave us because it's not over. And this guy will prove you, will show you how to play this race, or maybe at least he will try. It's Indy, Red Protoss, and his opponent currently being up and up, just like this, and of course he's Akbaron from Team Roddy, the Green Terran uh, from Spain. So Mech versus Protoss, I think it's interesting, and it was it proved to be very strong. Oh, this SCV is interesting. Interesting placement for this barracks, and for those of you that don't know, this map will leave the map pool. So from 1st of October, you won't be able to play it on ladder, which is you won't see it on tournaments, probably on some Snoxer Cup, if you know what tournament it is. But besides that, you probably won't see this, you won't see those map. Maybe something that will be similar, but not necessarily the same. Indy. So Indy didn't see this barracks. Is this SCV trapped? No. Oh, all right. Uh, so probably maybe Indy thinks it's a proxy. I don't know what he thinks. I'm not reading his mind, but Acheron is placing these buildings in a weird spot, so Indy can be misled. So he scouts, and now Indy knows that it's just normal barracks, but put in a way so that built in a place that would make Indy think no, it's some kind of proxy, or it's a dangerous it's a dangerous position for him. But still, this factory placed here, and it's a Helion. No, I mean, so Indy is building a Stargate. He doesn't have that many probes, or actually, he starts chrono boosting those probes, which he probably thinks he plays because Acheron doesn't commit that much. He's of course he makes those buildings, and he probably wants to achieve some sort of even maybe bigger damage than he would achieve with a normal pressure. But he also has this second base, which makes him very which doesn't make him all in. It's just a pressure that Indy doesn't know of. Okay, so we have a 3. So this factory will go back to Indy's base. And here will be Tech Lab. And this Phoenix sees it. It's actually really bad for the Terran player. But I think will Terran player make it? No, actually those Hellions got out of the medivac before it blew off. So yes. So six probes. It's a damage. Definitely will be enough. I won't predict. We see a second expansion from Aquaron. Indy is probably trying to, or will just take this expansion. Those 3 phoenixes are actually like seeing everything on the map. But did or actually he didn't see this. He didn't see this, so that's actually quite funny. That he was scouting everything, but not every place, but not this one, not this space. Okay, so this cyclone will prevent those phoenixes. I don't think Indy should, but he actually manages to escape, which is fine for him. He saw that Banshee, so Indy actually knows about this, which probably will force him to prepare to it and adjust his build order. So we have 2 Banshees now, which can be very very dangerous to Terran economy. Actually, we see SCV is pulled, so I wonder it will be just repairing purposes, or will be like bunkers, or we will see how the situation evolves. There's this one tank. So Indy knows just now about this, and that and two sentries are crashed very quickly. But Terran will probably move this ramp, and now will there be bunkers or something? What will Indy? Indy probably should pick up the tank, but he's struggling against this. He has this super battery, which is very super, like Superman, but not quite, because the super battery cannot save him, or will it? Indy's getting those Marines, which starts to, or actually those stalkers just vanished. Indy doesn't have energy on those batteries, so Indy's gathering here. But where is his army? Where is his? He has oracles, but there's the third tank. He cannot lift. He cannot lift the three tanks. He loses the Phoenix. I think it's a lot. But he, of course, he can attack the tanks when there are not that many Marines, which is. Oh, this is the defense from Indy. He lost so many probes, but I thought that's it for him, and he managed to keep the base alive, and and push his opponent's army back, which is impressive. He decides to go Void Ray for it. Maybe it's a celebratory Void Ray, or he just thinks that Void Rays are back, indeed. So 3 bases for Indy, 2 bases for Terran, but of course Muse, so it's not as bad. Terran has more workers, so he will transfer those workers to maximize their efficiency. And there's this Banshee. Oh, this Void Ray actually is trying to pick some to destroy the units that one might threaten this base, but he actually doesn't have detection, so this Void Ray didn't do that much. He waits for energy to run out, but the Banshee will escape then. Will escape and 4 probes. So Aquaron now has 10 more workers and has better economy, bigger army, supply wise and uh, cost wise. More gases are added, plus 1, of course. So Terran has a lot of bio. What's the composition of Indy? So Indy has a Colossus, has some Zealots, has Stalkers, and this Banshee is actually very hard to deal with, because Indy doesn't have. Indy has only one observer, and this is this one. So he doesn't have mobile detection at his base. So this observer will come back, and this tank positioning is important. Oh, and this guy goes down for free. That's something Indy probably can't afford. And this Banshee would be killed, but these tanks are actually those Zealots. Without Zealots, it's actually very hard for Protoss to engage this army. And this Protoss is actually, such army is very hard to defend. Many Marauders, so they're gonna crush this army. just as I said. Of course, there are some zealots, but it's not gonna be enough. So it's 3-1 for the Terran player. So we will see how Indy manages in the next game. Hello everyone watching the stream. How are you guys doing? How are you guys feeling today? I hope you're enjoying the stream. I try as hard as I can, although my English might not be as fluid as it might be, or as it could be. Okay, guys. So this guy, so this guy needs to make some magic because he's down in maps. He has last chance to actually beat his opponent 3 times if he wants to win. It is Red Protoss Indy. And his opponent spawning in the upper right, Green Terran, it's Aquaron. Sorry for the dog. If you hear it, I think it will. Okay. Uh, so we have. So we had like many different strategies from both players. We had mech. We had some different bio stuff. I think Aquaran showed a bunch of different styles, different builds. So I think it's interesting. He surprised Indy with some with some hidden buildings. Uh, this will block, or this try to block in this expansion, but Indy's attacking this SCV, so this won't be as much, I think. Yeah, it's not as bad. Okay, so there's this marine, so look at this, like there isn't a Reaper. It's not a Reaper. Um, so he decides to go for those marines. Decides to save some gas, and okay, so he decides to go for this quicker reactor. Okay, Zealot will try to walk through cross the map, but I don't think he's gonna meet anyone who who he would kill. The second expansion, I think it's quite. Indy likes this target. The funny thing, the only game he didn't make Stargate, he won. So I wonder how he adjusts his builds. If it's just like he thinks maybe Blink Stalkers would be better, or maybe he decides on the map. This starport is interesting. This position is interesting. But there is Stargate. I think Stargate might be fine, but The thing is, if it's like I'm sorry, if it's a Banshee with cloak, then Protoss might be in some trouble. So making some more workers, building units. For now, it's very peaceful. So it's a medivac. So and those and okay, so it's a medivac. And now those Hellions go across the map. Okay, and this oracle will spot that there is no starport. It's actually important scouting information. And this will fly over the map. Okay, Cyclone as the first unit from the factory. Well, defensive and has many options to it. Okay, so Indy has those two gates. Okay, so he's not prepared for this drop, and he's gonna lose some units. Oh, it's a lot of units now, and he didn't get much damage on the Helios. So these guys are in a lot of trouble. Oh, Indy, you are in trouble. You're in trouble, mate. And he picked this guy up. Hot pickup, very hot pickup. Very hot pickup for the Terran player. 2 additional barracks. This guy goes back. And a tech lab. That's interesting. Is it like towards a Raven or Banshee? I think both seem interesting. So this guy is seeing stuff, providing information for the Terran player. So it's a Raven, very useful unit. I like the unit. Actually, this unit made me win a game against one of the against a very strong Protoss player in my team. But let's focus on this game. So 2 additional barracks, so it's actually a lot of barracks. It's quite a lot of barracks. And Indy doesn't have a robotics bay. Robotics facility, I'm sorry. Oh. Okay, so now Terran will try to defend, but there is no third base for the Terran player. That is interesting. So Steam +1. He switches, but like Indy sits here and adds gates, so it will be fight. So it looks like Terran will try to defeat his opponent and finish him off on this and make it the last map. It's important to not lose units against those stalkers, because those stalkers can be very efficient against those units. Those Marines are actually very strong. I mean, they are very strong in a straight combat, but they can be easily picked up by, destroyed, killed by those stalkers. And this guy shouldn't die. It's actually almost 3 damage for Protoss player. Terran keeps sitting on 2 bases. So he will probably expect a move out from what we see. I think Indy knows it as well. Probably Indy thinks that there is probably a third base somewhere here, maybe he thinks. But also there's a lot of units. So So probably he expects that his opponent, and there's this pool. So on the, is it the last map, guys? I want you guys to write on chat if you think it's the last map, because I think it might be, unfortunately for the Protoss player. What does he have to defend against those units? He's definitely has some lasers, has some blades, has some side blades, has some lasers, and it's not gonna enough. Those Steam Marines, they deal so much damage. They're gonna kill, and they picked up those storm. Oh, Indy is probably sad. Indy is probably very sad right now, and GG's. Guys, thank you for being with me. But that is all, unfortunately. This is going to be all for today, and I'm gonna thank you all for watching. We will see if there is something happening, but I think it's going to be all.